Welcome back. We have two members of the Kamloops Physicians for a Healthy Environment group joining us today. We have Dr. Jill Calder, who is a medical rehab physician, Dr. Robert Schemenauer sitting next to me, atmospheric physicist with Environment Canada, retired. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you. You've both been on in the past. I haven't seen you for a while, but I'm glad to have you here today because we're talking about the results of a new air quality monitoring station that has been put up in Aberdeen. This took place in October of last year, and you have released a report based on the findings of how we are seeing our air quality from this new monitoring station over the past couple of months.
That's right. It's a monitoring station that was put in by the Ministry of the Environment, really to be positioned to be downwind of where the future mine would go, should the mine go in. Okay. That's why they located it where they did, which is the Pacific Way Elementary School. Mm-hmm. So we were keen to see what the data looked like for the first 2.5 months, and the year end was a logical time to sort of look at the data.
It's telling this time around. I know other reports have been released from other air quality monitoring measurements or in the years past, but this one is the closest one yet to the proposed site of the mine. And let's hear about what you found.
The meteorological data is really interesting because it shows that about 3/4 of the time the winds are coming from the southern half of the terrain and about 1/4 from the north. So predominantly the winds are coming from the area up on the upper plateau, which is where the mine would be.
That's pretty disturbing evidence right there. We have the graph. This report that you released is many pages. I took this from page 4, but this sort of shows you which direction the wind is coming from. And as you mentioned, yes, more than 70% of the time it's coming from the south, and that's very telling about what that means if a mine was to open up.
It's interesting for the viewer. The position of the station is sort of at the middle of the image. Mm-hmm. So where you see the big extension down to the south, that means there's a lot of wind from that direction. So that's really where the mine would be. And so it's sort of a well-positioned site from the point of view of the Ministry of the Environment, but also it's useful for us in many ways beyond just looking at the mine. It tells us something about the upper part of the city. It tells us something about the difference between the air quality in Upper Aberdeen and downtown. And really it's cleaner, which is what you would expect. Mm-hmm. But the main reason it's cleaner is because we have this flux of very clean air coming in from the south and southeast. So that's what there's presently happening in Aberdeen. The dirty air is coming from the northwest and the north into Aberdeen right now.
Dr. Calder, what do you think about the findings of this? What does this mean for you to hear that all of our fresh air is coming from the south, but perhaps as we go along here and a mine opens, that 75% of that air that's so clean might not be as clean?
Yeah, we're really have been concerned. We've been concerned for the last 3 years. That's why we've been saying what we've been saying. I feel kind of vindicated in a way because we took a lot of heat for a diagram that I helped to put together in our news release or media release of June 2014, which showed a big arrow of air coming down and the katabatic winds and the inversions of our area and the east-west division of our valley and the floor tending to keep a carpet of more polluted air down there. And I got a lot of criticism for this cartoon that we drew. And in fact, the cartoon is entirely accurate. We were right on with what the people in Aberdeen say about where the wind comes from. And we're also right on about how in the morning there can be some high readings at one end of the city or the other, and there's a flushing effect. And if we don't have flush effect of clean air, or if we are starting to have the flushing effect with more polluted air, we in downtown or everywhere in Kamloops, all and up and down the valleys will be feeling this placement of the mine there. We have to remember the air quality guidelines or objectives. We are often over 8 or 9 all the time. And the objective for the province is supposed to be 8, in fact 6. So we're already at a level that we would be concerned about, not polluting ourselves more.
Mm-hmm. Exacerbating it as we go. Obviously, you want this information to reach the public via the media, but who else are you hoping is going to hear about this?
Obviously, the politicians need to know something about it. And the mine itself, really, if they haven't looked at the data from the same archive that we got it from, they need to look at it, and they have to be sure that the modeling they do is representative of what the real measurements are in that part of the city.
Will you continue to release these reports? Will you continue to monitor the air quality?
We will. We do it as a volunteer effort. Nobody's paying Professor Tsigaris and myself to do it, but we think it's important. Typically, we do it at the end of each year. We did this in a small segment because that's all there was.
Okay. We're almost out of time. Is there any other messages that you would like to send out to our viewers in regard to these findings? I know that people can go to the website that's on the screen at kphe.ca, but if people want to get involved, if they want to have their voice heard, how can they do that?
Well, if they wish to donate to support our cause, Mining Watch BC and Canada are involved with us, and if they wish to watch our releases, there will be more actions. The application drops Monday. We are concerned that the financial feasibility study does not get included on Monday. So we're quite concerned about our 75-day clock ticking without a full application available. So we will, that's our next project to attack.
Interesting. Well, it sounds like you have your hands full. All right. Well, thank you for sharing the information with us today, and perhaps we can look forward to having you back on the show to talk about findings in the future as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. If you would like to learn more, again, kphe.ca. That is the website for Kamloops Physicians for the Healthy Environment. Their mandate, of course, to keep the public and the politicians informed of what our air quality looks like. We're back in 90 seconds. Stay with us.